Hi, welcome to the Creative Treehouse. My name is Robin Broom and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the United States. Thanks for joining me in the treehouse today. Today's project is a variation of the split four stamping technique that I introduced about a month or two ago. And it was a wild success, and it was a lot of fun, and people are enjoying using it, and I hope you are one of those. So here's a variation using the stamp set called the Celebrate Sunflowers set. That's a great set. We're going to be using almost all of the stamps in this, probably minus the two little leaves, but we'll be using all of those. So if you only have one stamp set, this may be the card for you to do, and it's actually 4 cards. We're going to use one 8.5 by 11 piece of paper, the Whisper White, and we will get all 4 of these cards. I also used the dots from the Forever Fern set. Now Stampin' Up! Has lots of different dots, and you can choose another one if you would like, but that's the one that I'm going to be using today. Okay, so yes, we're going to get to do all 4 of these, and I'll show you not the whole process, but I'll show you the most of it. Let me bring out a piece of newsprint to protect my work surface. Okay, like I said, you'll need a piece of Whisper White. That's the regular 8.5 by 11. You're going to score it at 5.5 and 4 1/4. Now the score marks, there's the valley, and that's the best place to actually do the stamping when you're stamping across. The stamping when you do it on the mountainside doesn't work as much as well. So you've got that. You will also end up needing a piece of the Old Olive and Early Espresso as well. The Old Olive would be cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4, and the Early Espresso will be cut at 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And then you're going to end up trimming this one so that each of these, when you cut them, you'll cut them the regular size, the 5.5 by 4 1/4, but then you're going to trim these. Each one of them will end up being 5 1/4 by 4. And that'll make more sense as we move along. So in this one, what we're going to do is we're going to, actually the first one, the main basic one was using the axes or the axis, whatever, I never did look up that word. And this time we're going to be focusing a little bit more on quadrants. So I've got these sticky notes that we're going to be using, and I've already used them. And so you can sort of see, and I'm going to lay them just to the outside of, we're going to work on this quadrant. It's going to be the outside of that score line, and again down here just to the outside of the score line. Otherwise your ink will not quite make it, and we're going to be trimming it, and so any small boo-boos will be covered up. I'm going to overlap this one just a little bit. And like I said, I want to go just barely on the outside so that you still see the score marks. All right, then we're going to take our large sunflower. We're going to be taking the Memento ink, and let me ink it up really good. And then we will start with our large sunflower. Okay, so here's our large sunflower, and I'm looking at the petals that are kind of lifted up, and I'm putting those in the center at the bottom, if you want to call that the bottom. Okay, that one did not ink as well as I had hoped, but that's all right, because we'll also be coloring it as well. Okay, and then while we've got that going, we're going to take the small sunflower. We're going to ink up the small one, and on let's see, on the short side, this is the short side, this is the long side, we're going to put this flower, and let's put it like, how about this? So it's going to go, and it's going to fit exactly right there. Okay, and then while this is drying a little bit, I'm going to move this one out of the way. Actually, I'll move both of them out of the way. And we're going to do some of the split 4. We're going to use, again, the small sunflower. And on this one, I'm going to put it over here, and these 2 leaves are going to go on either side of the score line, like that. Okay, and the same thing we're going to do, and we can probably even do it right now on this side, on the long side. Okay. All right, and now we're going to let's focus on this quadrant. And so while that dries just a little bit more, we're going to put our sticky note down just to the outside. And I'm going to put it on this one as well. And I'm going to just try not to touch that one. If you have more time, then that would be good, because then it wouldn't, you'd have a little bit more time to allow the ink to dry. But I'm trying to go through this pretty quickly. Okay, again, the lifted up petals are going to be on towards the center, where the two score lines meet. Okay. And then we will do the small sunflower. Oh, let's see, I did that one that way, so we can do that one. It's the same way. Now this one is not going to go on the line. Okay. If it did a little bit, that is just a-okay. All right, and now let's focus on another quadrant. These are dry or drier, so we can go ahead and lay our sticky notes. Now the basic split pour stamping technique that I introduced, I will give you a link in the description so that you can go and see that in case you missed it and want to know. And that is super easy to do. It's super fast. So this one's going to be a little bit more complicated for your more avid stampers. But if you want super easy, you can go with that particular one. All right, let's get the main big sunflower on. Okay. And then we'll need the small one. And we'll put it right in here. And like I said, it's okay, but overlaps just a little bit. Okay, so this side should be drier, so I'm going to move this one first and adhere it down just to the outside of the score line. And like I said, there's going to be a little bit of wiggle room, so you'll be able to work with that just a little bit. Okay, and then now we need the last one of our, I think that I got that a little crooked, let me redo. Okay, the last of our big sunflowers, and I always find that it's easier to take the ink to the stamp if the stamp is a larger stamp. Okay. All right, again, the curled petals will go towards the center. Great. All right, and then we need one more of the small sunflowers right here. All right, now the next thing that we need is our mask. We can remove these. All right, doesn't that look pretty cool already? All right, and we're going to take our leaf. It's just our single leaf, and we're going to stamp using our mask. Now I made the mask out of another sticky note, and what you're going to do is you're going to find like where my center petals are. See if we can line it up. I stamped the big sunflower on a sticky note, and then I cut it out with the paper snips. And so this is how we're gonna put the leaves so that they look like they're underneath the sunflower. So I'll give each of them a couple of leaves. Okay, and I'm just gonna move it around. I'm gonna actually move my paper, it's just easier for me. All right, and I'll look and eyeball where those curled leaves are. That's what I'm kind of looking for, to see if I can get to the right, there it is, the right pattern, and stamp some leaves. Okay, and then just keep moving around till you get all 4 quadrants done. Again, check out the petals and then find the configuration of the petals that work. Make them all line up. Okay, one more, and then we will have that part, the biggest part, will be complete. Okay, let me check again, rotate it till it I get the right one. Oh, this one's going to be a little trickier. Let's see. Oh, I don't have it far enough. Okay, there it is. Okay, line it up. Get out the leaf. Whoops, I moved it. It got a little bit of, lost its sticky over there. All right, there you have it. So now you've got basically 4 quick cards. Now before I put any sentiments on it, what I usually do is I go ahead and cut it. I get my paper trimmer out and I cut it and decide which of the sentiments need to go where. So we will just cut it at 4 1/4 on the short side. And we will cut it at 5 1/2 on the long side. Okay. And then one more. Okay, 5 1/2. All right, and let me show you what they look like. Let's see if I can. It has a hold of that last one. It doesn't want to let it go. Okay, if you can look very carefully, there's probably a little bit of a line there, and right here, anything like that, like probably on these edges, is where we're going to end up trimming some more. So, but one thing I do want to show you is how I colored it, and I'll tell you what I'll do. What I did for the sentiments, I used the Night of Navy for the actual words, and for the dots, I used the Balmy Blue. So I'll just use to give you a quick kind of preview, and it really will depend on where you put the sentiment, but I'm just going to do this real quickly. You could stamp off, you can put as many as you would like of those, but the thing I really want to show you is how I colored it. So I will take one of these, let's just do this one since I started with that one, and I colored it with the alcohol markers, the Stampin Blends, and I used a variety of colors. Okay, so I used the Mango Melody, I used the light and the dark, I used a light Daffodil Delight, I used the light Coral Calypso and the dark Coral Calypso, I used the Granny Apple Green, both colors, and both colors of the shades of the Crumb Cake. Oh no, soft suede, sorry. So I'm going to do just a little bit of coloring just to show you, and from there you can do it yourself. So what I do first is I go through and I just use the light Daffodil Delight, and I'll do a little bit of just the tips of the petals. Okay, so I'm just going to do just this much to show you. And then I move to the next one, which is the light of the Mango Melody, and kind of just blend that in. You're going to go just a little bit further on each one. Okay, and I would go all the way around. Okay, again, one more time. This time I'm going to take I think I'll use the brush tip because we're getting a little bit bigger. I'm going to use the brush tip, and we're going to go on down with the dark Mango Melody. Okay, it's going to be like that. And then, believe it or not, I'm going to start with the center of the flower, and I'm going to go out. So, and I'm using the dark of the Calypso Coral, and I'm going to kind of go like, I think I actually probably made little dots or something the last time. And you're going to also go back in where the shadows would be in between the petals and give that a little bit more dimension there. Okay, then I go back and I use the light of the Calypso Coral and come on out with that. I'm using the fine tip on this one, like that. Okay, that's pretty much what I do. And just kind of gauge it. I think I need a little more of the dark. So I'm going to go back around again with the darkest, just on the very edge, like that. And then just blend away. I'm going to use the dark Mango Melody. Probably the brush tip. A little more dark in here. You can just kind of see how it comes together. Now let's see the leaves. What I did was I did the light on the Granny Apple Green, and I just colored the whole leaf with the Granny Apple Green light, and then I went back and use the dark just on some of the dark parts of the flower, like this. Just kind of went sort of where some of the dark lines already are with the veins, and did that. And you can even go around with the where a shadow would be, where the petal is up against it. So like that. And then on the center of the flower, what I did was I took the light soft suede, and I actually colored the entire thing with the light soft suede. And then I went back with the dark, and where it is the darkest there, I went with the dark and went around like that. For that, there's kind of a ring there, and then one here as well, like that. Okay, and then one more time with the soft to kind of blend it in. The soft suede, the lighter of the soft suede, like that. Okay, and let me bring out the actual one so that you can kind of see what it looks like, and see how I've got the dots and I've got the different sentiments with the Night of Navy. So that is about it, I think. If you have any questions, just leave me a comment. And like I said, the original video I will put in the description so that you can see the split 4 stamping, and that will be using the Forever Fern set. Simple, really easy. You end up with 4 cards instantly. This one's going to take a little bit more time, especially because you're having to color. But if you like to color, this might be just the ticket. So, thanks again for joining me in the treehouse today. I hope you enjoyed today's project. I hope you have tried the split 4 stamping, and if not, maybe this will inspire you to do so. And I hope you get inspired to click the subscribe button, because I'd love to have you as a subscriber. And I try my best to make a video every week, and that's my goal. I don't always get there, but it's at least every other week. So, and I love to craft. I love to use these wonderful Stampin' Up! Supplies and see all the neat things that you can make with it. So thanks again for joining me in the treehouse, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.